Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Maybe you need a timeout.
Welcome to the Luke and Rory podcast. Here are two guys, knuckleheads if you may, who jump in front of a camera and do a Facebook Live show.
You know, it's exciting.
They've decided to take that Facebook Live show and put it into a podcast.
Oh, good for you.
Why? Because can you really get enough of Luke and Rory?
That's a good one.
Meet Luke Weaver, who's known for his dead sexy hair.
You are an awful man. You are truly a disappointment to us all.
Meet Rory Pitts, who's never found an apple cup he can't be disappointed about.
I'm telling you, that man does not look stable.
Two guys who went to the same high school, love the same music, love sports, love movies, love their families.
Look at these clowns. Hand-picked monkeys.
All right, looks like the boys are caffeinated and ready to go.
Come on, get some coffee. You want some coffee?
That's enough nonsense. Now let's join the show.
Sound good?
It always sounds good.
Oh, bro, we are way off.
Yeah, you're gonna join the show today?
I was thinking about it. But...
Well, I appreciate it. You know, this is why we have pre-production. But you're over there scarfing down this ginormous burrito,
Bro,
the size of your ego.
That trash was so good.
Look, the microphone's even off. Man, we can't take you anywhere.
Let's bring it in a little bit.
Why the hell do I even show up early?
That's a great point. I've never understood that.
This guy comes walking in like Joe Cool. 5 minutes to go.
Let's be honest. There's nothing cool about me anymore.
No.
Oh,
my
cool
goodness.
is right out the window. My kids are at that point. Like when I was, when your kids are young, they think you're cool. Like dad's cool. Dad can do anything.
Yeah, I miss those days.
They're
They're gone.
Your kids are at that point. Like, I'm sorry, Dad. Did you say something? I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I'm looking forward to the days that are coming.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. I don't have any inside information, but when Grandpa will be cool.
Yeah. Dude, Grandpa Cool, I hear, is the best kind of cool.
It is because you can shower them with affection and then give them back to their parents.
Yes. Goodies and candies and be awesome. Morning, John. Good morning, Nathan. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Welcome to Live with Luke and Rory. As always, I'm not Rory, and he's not Luke.
Dumbass.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Happy Thursday. Happy opening day of the Mariners season. Happy Sweet 16 day.
Hey, I just realized something. I just got done giving you a hard time.
And you're just chomping gum over here?
I'm just chomping gum. Can you grab your tray real quick?
What? What an asshat.
I learned it from watching you, okay?
That's fair. I'm not going to argue.
Okay, so I got to tell you right now, I'm going to do my best today to not crap my pants.
All right.
Not figuratively.
That's not...
Literally.
That's not how we start a show.
So we got to cut back
and
on
there goes the viewers.
We got to cut back on the making Rory laugh things.
Okay.
Because, so here's the deal.
You having some tummy issues, bud?
Well, here's the thing. I didn't tell you this yesterday when we met for coffee.
I appreciate that.
But
thought you'd save it for the
finished
show.
a 72-hour fast last night.
Oh, okay.
3-day fast.
You know what's funny? I thought to myself after we left, I bet he's on a fast. And the only reason I thought that was because the whole time we were there, you laid in the chair like this. I was like, he looks like a man who's not had any nutrients.
So day one, day two, for the most part, and I've done this before. I've done a 3-day before.
Nathan,
we'll get to
the bar high, Rory.
We'll get to it in a second. Day one, day two, not too bad. Day three, I thought, okay, you know what? Originally I wanted to do a 6-day fast all week long. Then I went, okay, you know what? We got things coming up.
Hold on. Paul's only going to be here for a second, so I want to say good morning. Good morning and go Cougs. Appreciate it, Paul. Go Cougs. I'm using an advanced pediatric life support class today. Yeah, dude. Save lives, bro.
Especially pediatric.
I want you in there in case you need to save my life. So carry on.
Yeah, and we'll get to your other comment in a second.
Yeah.
And so anyways, I've done a 3-day before. I did it about 3 years ago. And I was going to try and do it until Saturday, but with Holy Thursday and Good Friday, then we've got a family gathering on Saturday. I know that I have these issues if I do a long fast.
Better grease the tracks before.
Yeah, because if I put food in me, I kid you not, 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
Oh, Dumb and Dumber, dude.
You're like a dog.
Oh, my gosh. Oh.
Did the dog eat? Yeah, it's been 20 minutes. Need to take her outside.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah, and
All right.
and the thing is, it's very common for people who do long fasts.
Yeah.
And I've tried some of the tricks of do bone broth or beef broth. or
Because
bone
your body
broth.
shifts to chewing
Yeah.
fat instead of what's in there, and then it just fires.
Yeah,
through.
and then all of a sudden there's nothing in the system, so it just kind of goes
Right,
right
look
through
at that.
the
It's the
system.
whole slice of pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we're okay this morning. I put a little more sustenance in my stomach, so we should be good. But if not, bathroom's right there.
That burrito I just had.
That burrito, dude, I'm not kidding. It's about the size of this freaking microphone.
It was so good.
It smelled good.
Well done, Spencer. Well done. Hey, if let me see that
yeah,
menu.
so Nathan said setting the bar high. Yes.
Let me see that menu. Hey, once again, we're coming at you live from Electric Coffee House. This is home. Hey, here's some of their cool stuff that they have. I just partook in the wake-up call. Fluffy eggs, avocado salsa, sauteed gold potatoes, chipotle aioli, red bell peppers, and a burrito. And I'm going to tell you, bro, to die for.
This
So-
guy was freaking Guy Fieri. He was who's the screaming one?
Oh, dude, yeah, my guy. Effing, I don't remember his name. Someone tell us.
Oh
the
my
name.
gosh!
Good morning, Brandon.
This is called getting old, man.
See you at soccer tomorrow night,
God,
buddy.
who is he? Who is he?
Somebody tell me. I don't know who you're talking about.
Hell's
Oh,
Kitchen dude.
Drew's on. Good morning, Drew.
Drew. Drew celebrates today. I'm going to tell you why Drew celebrates today.
Okay.
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay.
So this
Jeez.
guy over here was Guy Fieri, Gordon Ramsay, and he was over here just like the chipotle
and Paula Deen.
and the aola and the spices and the peppers. Oh my gosh, who's to die for?
It was just on the
I
palate.
should have hit go live at that moment. I really should have.
The palate was really, there it is, Brandon told
Yeah.
us. Gordon.
Thanks, Brandon.
The palate was really experiencing just,
I thought you were gonna have a joygasm over there.
it was like 1,000 angels just whispering different kinds of wonderfulness on my tongue. It was amazing. So, yeah, that was really good. Well done, Spencer. Well done, Electric Coffee. Guys, they reserve this spot for us every Thursday at 10 because
Love
they're
them.
awesome. You know what? And some places don't. And obviously, they don't respect and understand the level of class that we bring to a joint and the business that rolls in because of us.
Oh yeah, we class this place up.
But Electric Coffee House gets it. Thank you, Tina.
Bro, if we class this place up, they'd have a bigger problem.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, Drew says, good morning, boys. Let's go Red Sox. No, not today. Not
Yeah.
today. Not today. But Drew does celebrate today. As a Patriots fan, I know this is a special day for you. You know why it's a special day?
Oh, why?
Drew, I'm going to ask Drew. I know why it's a special day. Does Drew know why it's a special day? So,
I don't know. He said, when did I become a foodie, bro? I don't know. I've always been a foodie. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, I didn't even mention. So the 3-day fast lost 12 pounds. Yeah.
But you drink water.
Oh yeah, I drink water, tea, not tea, water, coffee, sparkling
Whiskey.
water. Yeah.
You know,
Anything that has no
only the
calories.
staples.
That's right. That's right.
Uh,
Drew hasn't chimed in yet. Drew, you got to know why today's special. Drew, you're gonna kick yourself when I tell you why today is special. Of course, I saw it on Twitter this morning, so that's why. John says, "I just need some scotch."
Absolutely.
Amen, brother.
Like a true Weaver
All right,
family
opening
man.
day of the boys of summer. No, that's not
That's
it.
your
I
story.
said the Patriots.
Go
the
Mariners.
Patriots. Come on, man. I'll tell you why. And then we'll get to Brandon's comment. I'll tell you why today's a special day for Patriot fans. Because today is 3/28.
Okay.
Come on, Drew.
I don't know, dude.
Come on, Drew.
I don't know. How long are we going to do this?
I'll just tell you the Falcons don't like today.
Oh, it's 28-3. And then it came back. Yeah. Okay. Did
Boy.
you just make that up?
No, I saw it on Twitter this morning. They made it up on Twitter.
No, I saw it on Twitter. So it was made up?
The win over the Falcons. There you go, Drew. Give that man a cigar. Brandon says, I can't go 3 hours without eating, let alone 3 days.
You know what's crazy, too, is Brandon weighs about 125 pounds soaking wet.
Well, yeah, of course you can't go.
Yeah. I don't know how you burn it like that, buddy.
You know,
Yeah.
Christy and the kids were talking to me, kind of saying the same thing. And I looked at all of them and said, you're all under 100 pounds, or not under 100 pounds, because I think Ryan's like 150, 160.
What a beast.
But I'm just like, you all weigh this much.
Yeah.
If you lost as much as I did, you die.
Yeah, I'm trying to lose you.
Exactly. Yes, whenever the Falcons.
Oh,
All right, so
go Mariners.
let's start with the Mariners because I got a little something to say about these guys.
What's crazy? We'll get there. What's crazy? Like last year at the end of the end or December around free agency time, I was so screw the Mariners, I'm done, And then, but then they started doing some things, and I liked the additions, and I was like, okay. And then it's been working in the spring training what they've done and put people around. And then I heard some interviews with Julio and how excited he is and Cal Raleigh about what they've done. So I was like, okay. And then I turned on the radio, excuse me, this morning, 7:10, just in time to hear them playing Dave Niehouse's Welcome Back Baseball thing that he recorded years and years ago. And I was just like, F&A Cotton, welcome back. I got all excited. So, yeah, opening day. I'm pumped, dude. I'm pumped. And we're going to talk about CS Rise. Absolutely. It's like July 1st is Bobby Bonilla Day. Oh, man, those poor Mets. Gruder's on. Good morning, Gruder. There's not a lawn in the Olathe area that does not look beautiful because of that man right there.
That's true. Well, I'm actually glad to see you wearing your jersey this morning because I was thinking about you as I was driving in thinking, is he going to wear his jersey today? Because that's going to tell me a lot about where his mind is at with the Mariners.
Glad that I was on your mind, dude.
Bro, you're on my mind more than I want you to be on my mind.
And sometimes it's a son of a.
Yeah.
Bro,
I wish I was excited. I don't know what's happened. It seems, maybe it's because I'm getting older. It seems like the same old shit, different year. It really does. It's like every year, we might do it. And then I heard, is it the owner? Is John Stanton the owner?
He's the head of the majority owner group, yeah.
So I heard an audio clip of him from the other day, and he was, and I'm paraphrasing, he was basically saying, we just want the Mariners to be competitive every single year, like the Royals. Or we don't want to base ourselves after the Royals. The Royals.
Is this a 54% thing?
This is where the Royals, the Kansas City Royals, the Royals who have been to the freaking World Series, while the Mariners are like, maybe we'll make a wild card. Maybe we make the playoffs. Bro, I have not been excited for Mariner baseball since probably 2003, 2002.
The reason I'm excited this year or a little bit more excited after some of the moves that they've made, is this is the first year in a while that the additions that they brought in to help the ball club don't feel like guys that are on the back end of their glory. Like Colton Wong last year, they're like, the whole conversation around Colton Wong last year was like, we're really hoping that we can bring him in and rejuvenate him back to his glory. And I'm like, maybe his glory is just behind him. Like, my glory is behind me. You're not going to rejuvenate it out of me. Like, they've done that through the years. They're like, oh, he's an all-star. No. He's a former all-star that you're trying to bring back to life.
I'm right here.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's just like you and me. We're former all-stars.
Nathan says, any predictions for number of wins the Mariners get this year? I'm thinking that my A's might get more wins this season.
I don't know about that, dude. That is really a stretch. Prediction on wins, 92.
87.
Okay.
Which means what? They're 5 over 500?
No, more than that, because if you're 81 and 81 is 500. So
it is 81, so
76. So you're 11 over 500.
Oh, yeah, that crazy math over there. So you're six games above average.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yep.
So
87,
we'll
but I mean, and that's kind of like, I don't even know if 87 is going to. You know what? Maybe I should make a commitment to watch the Mariners more, pay more attention. Because I can tell you one player on the team, without a doubt. If you put a gun to my head,
Julio
Rodriguez. Yeah. That's the only person I can tell you.
Well, here's the thing.
Ty France.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I know two.
Here's the reason why I think 500 minimum, so 81, right?
Brandon says 94.
It's because, all right, yeah, Brandon and I love talking Mariners baseball. Sorry, man, I got something in my throat. All right, listen. The reason I say 90 or at least 500 is minimum is because they have 3 pitchers on their staff that have been named on Cy Young watch lists. Nobody else in baseball has that. Like, our pitching staff is considered to be the strongest in baseball, probably. So just that alone to me, like, okay, then I think the offense is going to be better than last year. What were we, 89 wins last year? So I think the offense is going to be better. I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see.
Brandon says that the rotation can stay healthy.
Okay.
Drew says Red Sox have done the bare minimum. Tell me Tell you why. It's because John Henry and the owners have their little paws in other different sports. The Red Sox get treated like peasants. Henry needs to watch for Liverpool fans.
Yeah, dude. Soccer, man. Football.
Magruder, we'll get to your comment in a little bit because we will get to that. I think that's a good topic. But we'll get to this one. Royal strategy is to catch lightning in a bottle. They did one thing really well, to use a baseball analogy. They swung hard and didn't miss in 14-15. The M's stay swinging hard, but also stay popping up and fouling out. That's it right there. And when I heard that comment from John Stanton, I thought, you're an asshat. I say that because I've lived in the Pacific Northwest since 1979. I've been a Mariners fan when the Kingdom sucked. I've been a Mariners fan when Griffey was awesome to watch. I was a Mariners fan when they won 116 games. And I still consider myself a Mariners fan, even though I don't know what the hell's going on right now.
Yeah.
All to tell you that nothing has really changed since I've kind of taken a step back from being a Mariners true fan. And it's the same broken record every freaking year. I know. How many teams are there? 30 teams?
30.
I know football is 32.
Yeah, 30.
So I understand there's 30 other teams. Well, the Pirates aren't trying. But there's 30 other teams that are trying to get to the World Series. But it seems like we get to third. We definitely get to second base. Maybe we get to third base every once in a couple of years.
Yeah.
But we never hit a home run.
Yeah.
We never get it.
I think the problem is that I feel like John Stanton and even like the management, like I think they're out of touch at times with the fan base, in the sense that like the Dodgers, right? Or the Yankees. They're spending all the time. Like, here, take all our money. Because they know if they put a product on the field, they have a fan base that will put money back in their pockets.
Right.
I don't think that our current ownership group and our current management really understands that we have that fan base in Seattle. All you have to do is go back and look at the 90s runs, the early 2000s. Like, we were selling out every night. Everyone had Mariners gear on all the time. Like, you have a passionate fan base in Seattle if you give them something to be passionate about.
I'll tell you this. I have no desire to go to a Mariners game at these ticket prices. If the Mariners are winning...
They start at $10.
Do they?
Yeah. $10 set up in the outfield.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll stick to my statement.
Yeah.
I stick to my statement because I either have to come across on the ferry or I have to drive around and I have to get parking. And the thing is if the Mariners are winning two out of every 3 games in a series, if they're winning series like they did back in 2000, which I know 2001 was an anomaly.
Yeah.
But if the Mariners are just causing us to go nuts as a fan base, I'll go spend the money. I'll take the time out of my day. I'll fight the traffic to come to a game.
Yeah.
But if you're just a little bit more than mediocre,
yeah,
I got better things to do. I mean, I have my ESPN ticker on here, so I'll know when the game starts. I know when it's over, and I'll look at it real quick and go, oh, okay, not a big deal.
Nathan says, when was the last time you guys went to a game? Last game I went to was September. I go to at least a couple games every year. Kids love going. It's a fun family activity.
Last game I went to, I kid you not, I think it was the game where you, me, Russ, and Crab went.
That was like 5-6 years ago. That was before COVID.
Yeah, that was before COVID.
It was before the COVIDius.
Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not trying to diss the Mariners. I want the Mariners to be good. I want the Mariners to be relevant. I want the Mariners to be a team that they're talking about nationally.
Gruder makes a good point here, and I want to touch on this for a second. He says a $10 ticket is still a $250 date or a $500 family night. It's crazy. Yeah. Unless you live in Atlanta. So I went to Atlanta a few years back, and I'm used to Mariners prices,
Mm-hmm.
But like the ownership groups in Atlanta and Georgia, and mind you so like Arthur Blank, who owns the Falcons, and I can't remember the name of the owner for the Braves, but my point stands is that they basically came together and said sporting events should be affordable for a family to take their kids to, for a son to take, or dad to take a son to a ball game. And so the Atlanta Falcons in football in the NFL have the lowest ticket prices in the NFL. Like, they make it affordable for you to be able to take. So like the average ticket price in Seattle here is like 120 something, whatever. Like in Atlanta, it's like $60 something. Still expensive,
right?
But in the landscape of the NFL, and then the same thing with the Braves. And mind you, the Braves have some of the most storied history in all of baseball. So I went to Atlanta, and then I decided, hey, I want to go to a game. Ichiro was playing. He was at the Marlins at the time. And so I looked it up. It was $7 for me to buy a ticket.
Wow.
So I buy a ticket. Not only that, it wasn't full. You know, you go to like the Mariners, and they got like they got the ushers at the top of every aisle. They want to check your ticket, like make sure you're in the section.
Right.
Like the Atlanta ushers are like encouraging, like, hey, move down closer to the field. And I talked to one of them. I was like, dude, my ticket's for right field. And he's like, dude, go sit behind the dugout. Nobody's there. Nobody like enjoy, get the experience. So I'm down there like meeting, Mike's, Giancarlo Stanton and Ichiro, and like getting pictures and stuff. Time of my life, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and then I go up to get a hot dog and a beer. I'm like, all right, I'll splurge. I'll go spend $20 on a beer and a dog.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let me get a foot long and a 20-ounce beer, whatever. They're like, $7. I was like, what? I was like, draw two. But they want it to be accessible to the general public.
And honestly, maybe the prices at the Mariners, and for that fact, the Seahawks, maybe those are affordable to people on the east side.
Yeah.
But people in Pierce County and people in Kitsap County, it's not the same thing. And,
Drew, let's go. Jensen, let's go. Yeah,
all right,
do a game.
Can you touch the screen there? Does it?
No,
you can't. Okay, which one do you want?
Well, Gruder says I'd go to an M's game any day with the Luke and Rory squad.
Oh, I like this idea.
And then Jensen,
business write-off.
Jensen followed up with, I agree, Dave Magruder. That would be fun. Let's do it, dude. Drew says Atlanta concession prices are like Costco prices. Dude, it's true. It's so accessible. It's amazing. And when you're at, like, I was at Turner Field. They recently built a new stadium. But, like, I'm outside, and you're talking about history. We're talking bronze statues of Hank Aaron and Warren Spahn, like serious history. Not like what we got up here freaking at the corner of Dave and Edgar. Like a completely different level of history.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm paying a third the price.
Well, and they've got that history, too. I mean, to be fair to the Mariners.
My point, though, is that, like, I'm going to something very historical, Hall of Famers everywhere. It's incredible, like, immersion experience. And I'm paying, like, a third of the prices.
Right.
Like, it's just...
And Magruder says, I bet revenue-wise, Atlanta is heavy TV and light on tickets and concessions. That Turner money is still deep.
100%. Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
But, man, it was just, what a beautiful experience I had that night. It was,
I am jealous.
I'll never forget
I tell you, when I go to the Rainiers, that's what it feels like for me. Because I go to Rainiers game, I'm like, wait, you're only charging this much?
Yeah. It's, it's just.
So maybe I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try to pay a little bit more attention. Like, I'll do this right now. I'll do this right now live. Let me take a look here. Let me pull up the good old ESPN.
The
ESPN. And where are the Mariners?
I don't have that ESPN.
I got the Mariners right there. And let's see the roster.
You know more players than you think you do.
Cody Bolton. Don't know him. Luis Castillo? Don't know him.
Logan you don't Gilbert. Know Luis Castillo? No
Logan Gilbert, I've heard the name. Emerson Hancock, nope. George Kirby, I've heard the name. Bryce Miller, nope.
So Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, and George Kirby are three of the best pitchers in baseball.
Okay, I guess I'll have to watch them. Taylor Sacudo?
Where are we at here?
Number 60.
Saucedo.
Colin Snyder, Gabe Spear, Ryan Stanek.
Gabe Spear.
Okay, there you go. Trent Thornton, Austin Voth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mitch Garver. Cal.
So we just signed Mitch Garver. He's going to be our designated hitter. He's like a 30 home run guy.
Okay. Sebi Zavala.
He's just a backup young guy.
JB Crawford. I've heard JB Crawford. Ty France. Yep. Jorge Polanco.
He's an all-star. We just got him.
I want to say I've heard him before. Luke. And you know what? Honestly, Major League Baseball, I'm kind of the same too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Like when in the 90s, dude. In the 90s, I knew all the players on every freaking team. Luke got a little bit more on my mind nowadays. Luke Raleigh,
he's an up-and-comer we traded for.
Josh Rojas, Luis Urias. Dominic Canzone.
Yeah, Dominic.
Mitch Haniger, heard of Mitch Haniger.
Yeah.
Dylan Moore and Julio Rodriguez.
Julio!
And Scott Service.
He's
still there.
Our useless manager. The only reason I want us to have a bad year was so we get rid of that freaking pile of sitting at the end of the. God bless it.
All right, I will try. All right, what else we got here? Let me see. Brandon says 7:10 start time tonight.
Castillo's on the mound.
Castillo's on the mound.
What does Long say? You know how to fill a 4,000 seat hockey rink. $2 Busch Light Night. Absolutely. Dude, that's the other thing. Like in Seattle, You know what it is to go to a freaking Kraken game since day one? It's
yes.
expensive, dude.
Oh gosh, yes.
Like, I love hockey.
I still haven't been to a game that I paid for.
Yeah. Well, and I haven't been to a Kraken game at all, and I love hockey. Like, I walk around my Kraken gear. I watch every game on TV pretty much, and I haven't been to a game.
Reject.
What's going on here, buddy?
No, we're going to quit open phone. There we go.
Okay. What do we got here? Magruder says, some owners operate their teams like businesses. Others operate their teams like public services. There is a happy medium, but it's tough to keep the momentum. I'm excited about the M's. If I live locally, I'd probably go to 20 games a year. It'll be a fun team to watch. I think so too, Gruder.
I'll try.
So Get your butt out here. Let's go to a game. Jensen, I think I'm ready to be a better baseball fan and forget watching. Well, I will not forget watching the NHL because I love the NHL. I stopped with the NBA long ago, Jens. We haven't talked about that in a couple times we've been around each other lately. I am so over the NBA. Like, it's like if you told me tomorrow that the NBA would like cease to exist 2 years ago, I'd be like, had no idea. Like, yeah. A second mortgage, says Drew.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, man.
I'm taking a HELOC out. What's the purpose of your HELOC, sir? Are you doing home renovations? No, I'm going to a Kraken game.
You know what? Actually, we need to discuss that off the air because I think the only way we can afford to go to a Mariners game is if we take a client with us. Yeah. Take a client. Hey, Crab, because Mike Crab bought a house last year with us. Yeah. He's a client. Hey, Crab, you want to go to the game?
If we go to a game with any of you, you have to ask us a real estate question at some point in the 9 innings. I don't care. You can just be like, hey, is the market hot or cold? And we get this,
done.
Yeah. Mandy.
Mandy, good morning from the East Coast.
Morning to ya.
All right, I got to get off my chest. All right. We've talked Mariners for as long as we have.
I think this is going to be quicker than you think.
It could be.
Because what I want you to do is to really, outside of the fact of where he went, what I really want you to do is think deeply about how good of a job you thought he did and if you really care.
So, as you may have heard or may not have, let me get my damn statement out. You shut the hell up. Okay. So, as you may have heard, may have not heard, might be sports, might be Mary Mayberry, don't care about sports. The former athletic director at Washington State University, Pat Chun, has decided to slither over to Mordor and join the Huskies as their athletic director. So there's a couple of facets here. First is, I'm pissed off that he went to the Huskies. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm upset.
I'm not.
That's it. That's the only reason why I'm upset. The fact that he left and is no longer the AD, I'm absolutely fine with that. I have my issues with Pat Chun. I know that the basketball team has improved. I know he's brought on the coaches. I know it's all these different things that people want to say. But I'm glad he's gone. And I'm going to tell you something, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, that's petty, blah, 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 blah. I'm still pissed off that they can Coach Rolo over the whole freaking COVID vaccine thing. And Pat Chun did not stand in his corner and decided to just go the way of
I'll go.
Inslees. So, long story short, I don't care that I care that Pat Chun's gone. The fact he went to UW, that pisses me off because it just shows his character.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you this. If you're a Husky fan, you shouldn't be thrilled with this hire because he don't give two craps about the purple and gold.
It's like I told my buddy Matt yesterday, Matt Siness, he's one of the basketball coaches for the boys team at high school, and we both coach girls teams in the program. I told him, he was like, because he's a big dog guy, and I go, good. And this is what I told him. I go, good.
Yeah,
you can have him. Like, and he was like, you're not upset? And I go, no. Like, of all places I would want him to go, it would be you guys, because I would love to watch him mess up your program.
I know. And that's the struggle I have, because on one hand, I'm pissed off that he left for the Huskies, but on the other hand, I'm thinking,
like, all you hear about, like, oh, Pat Chun, like, and I'm like, tell me something outstanding he's done.
Really?
I mean, so he screwed up the Rolo thing, regardless of where you stand on the politics.
Oh, I know where I stand on the politics of it.
But regardless of it, they're still in the middle of like lawsuits.
Yeah,
they're going to lose a lot of money possibly.
Yeah,
and that was his fault. Like, and that's coming out of the sports program. him and the AD from Oregon State, regardless, did not see any writing on the wall with the Pac-12 stuff and basically got left standing in the rain without an umbrella. And, like, I get, like, hey, momentum picked up. All these, it started with UCLA and whatever, and like USC and Cal, whatever.
Fine.
But
at that point, the red flags are flying through the air.
He had a contingency plan. He had none.
No.
So there was scrambling, okay? The women's basketball program at WSU hasn't made the tournament in forever. The men's program just made it finally for the first time since 2008. I'm sorry. You don't get credit for one time. Like, you just don't. And then Kyle Smith left immediately because the athletic department hadn't extended his contract yet. And so the one coach that actually brought you back to the tournament, you let get away to Stanford because you hadn't extended his contract yet. And Stanford swooped in the night and was like, hey, we'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I don't – and the football program, in all honesty, like, what is it? Is it Dickert, right? Dickert? Like, jury's still out. Like, they started 5-0 or 6-0 last year and then lost, like, 7 straight games. So, like, I'm not sold on that either. Like, people were all excited, like, oh, great move. He's done nothing at Wazoo that I don't think anybody else could have done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just – so my initial was your side.
Yeah.
Like, son of a, like, going to UW. But then I was like, good.
I know.
That's
That's weird.
so
It's
great.
a weird feeling.
Take them.
And the funny thing is, there's some Husky fans out there that are just saying, "Oh, you guys have sour grapes." No, it's actually been talked in the Cougar circles for quite a while.
Yeah.
That he can go.
Well, Hilditch says,
and to that extent, the president can go too.
Yeah. Hilditch said, and this is funny because actually the opposite opinion, Matt. So he says the one part I like about Chun is he's local. After DeBoer and Dannon, I just want someone who isn't going to see UW as a shortstop. Here's the problem, though.
Sorry, Matt. I'm sorry,
Yeah, I know.
Matt. I love you.
Yeah.
I love you. But if you think that this is not a shortstop for him,
you know what Brock Hewart said yesterday.
That's
Brock
what
Hewart said, he's just like, I'm not a fan of this. Like, he goes, you needed someone who was purple and gold, and while you may be looking as Patrick Chun is close enough, he's still not purple and gold.
No.
So
no. And the thing is
neither is the basketball coach that UW hired, by the way, Sprinkle. Guess where he grew up? Pullman, Washington.
Oh, but have you seen that he had a dig at Pullman yesterday?
That's fine.
It's
That's just because he's there. He said it's a hope, not a true deep belief. Yeah, we all have hopes.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. What does Drew say?
And he's good friends with Jen Cohen, and you saw what Jen Cohen did. So I mean, like, to me, I think if they have a year of success and Pat Chung gets a better offer, he's probably gone.
So I want you to think about this for a second, and this is where my tinfoil hat. I'm going to grab my tinfoil hat. I'm going to put it on. So last year, was it last August? They were all having their discussions about what they wanted to do as a Pac-10. And Jen Cohen, who was the AD at the time at UW, said, everything's good. We're gonna stay the Pac-10. We're gonna stay the course. We're gonna make this happen. And then she texts him the next morning and says, hey, we're leaving for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And then she leaves for USC.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys.
I think the best thing that UW could have done, and I'm not a UW fan, obviously, but like, I think the best thing UW could have done, and I agreed with like what Brock Hewart had to say. And by the way, Brock Hewart is a dog, but I love Brock Hewart.
Oh, he's very fair.
Very non-biased.
He's very fair.
It's not like listen to freaking Homer over Softy.
Softy's a jackass. I
and
was
he didn't
watching
even
his
go
Twitter.
to UW.
I was watching his Twitter the last 24 hours. This guy has gone from Pat Chun is a douchebag to Pat Chun is the second coming of Christ.
He's the biggest Fairweather Johnson.
Oh, I can't stand it. And you know what? Ian Furness was on a podcast yesterday.
Ian Ferns?
Was it John Casano? John Casano?
Yeah.
Anyway, I've heard the name before. I've heard him on different channels. And John Casano asked him about this. And Ian Furness, kid you not, I can pull up the audio. He said, I can discuss the Kyle Smith leaving, but I can't give you my true thoughts on Pat Chun coming to UW because of where I work.
Wow.
And I'm paraphrasing that, but it's just about what he said.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on in the sports media world in Washington right now. Puck and Moore left.
He's starting his online show today.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that.
I kind of want to hear that because he's going to be on.
He's going to load into 950, dude. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal. Blood in the water.
You know what? I used to have a respect for Softy. He's a pain in the ass, but I had a respect for him. Now I can't stand him.
You know what's crazy is like I've met him several times. I've done work with him several times, and there's times that I really liked him, and he could be a fun guy. He's very erratic, and he's all over the place. You know, the guy smokes like a chimney.
Does he still?
Like a chimney, dude.
Is he still?
Yeah, he was like, "Can you go get me cigarettes from the clubhouse?" Because he was on air, and I was like, "No." I'm like, "No, like that's not what I do. I'm not your ball boy." But anyway,
Good morning, Tammy. Good to see you.
All that to say, like, if I'm a non-bias, I'm not a Coug fan. I'm not, an anti-Husky guy, whatever. I'm just on the outside looking in. And I'm looking at the two universities and where they're set up for next year. I think I would be a little more apt to say WSU is set up to be more successful in the next couple years. But like I genuinely think this, UW fans, and I'm sorry. Like it just is what it is. Like take a step out. Like take your purple and gold hat off for a second, okay? And ask yourself. Do you really, in men's basketball, women's basketball, football, anticipate competing at a high level next season in the Big Ten?
Yeah, in the Big Ten, and that's the key. In the Big Ten,
The best football team that you put on the field in 30 years just went out and got their plates handed to them by Michigan in the national title game. Everyone left from that team, including the coach, right? And now you're going into one of the toughest conferences in football that's going to get tougher. And your basketball team has been miserable for years, and they're going into a very tough – like, what do you honestly – like, everyone keeps getting all excited, UW. I'm like, what do you think's going to happen?
I'm excited. I'm excited because I know – I feel like I know what's going to happen. Yeah. And the thing is, I'll tell you this. What's happened in the past year or so is – it just feels like we had this friendly rivalry. We had this big brother.
It's gotten very vitriol.
We had this big brother, little brother complex. We, as Cougar fans, we embraced the little brother. Mm-hmm. And Husky fans told us time and time again that they're the big brother. Fine. It was friendly. It was joyful.
There were times each other street, we hugged it out.
Right, exactly. And it seems like that the university level, I'm not speaking for the
Brock
fans.
Said, yeah.
But it feels like at the university level, they decided that we're going to swing big, and we don't care who gets destroyed in our path.
Yeah,
and it feels like a relationship that has just gone completely bad.
I agree with Brock here. Like he said, he didn't like the move. He thought it was the wrong thing to do. As the University of Washington, he was disappointed in college sports as a whole. He was disappointed in the UW. And he went so far as to say back to he was like, his brother Damon had showed interest, and he's been a fundraiser for the program. The assistant AD went to UW. She bleeds purple and gold. Like, why did you not reach into that purple and gold pot, and bring somebody out who is going to stay, who the fans will get behind? Like, I almost felt like it was an intentional. Hey, WSU, you just took all that money, that money. Like the I don't know if you guys read all the article stuff, but like for each team that the Pac-12 got into the NCAA tournament, which was 4, they get $2 million in revenue. So that's $8 million. And then for each game that you win, you get a little bit more, right? So like WSU won a game, you get more money, right? Because it's TV share, right? Arizona's still in it, you're getting more money.
Oregon won a game.
UCLA girls, USC girls are going to be in it for a while. Like all this money that they're getting. And unless you're part of the pack, you don't get any of it. And so I almost feel like it wasn't just all right, you're going to be a jerk and not give us the money that we don't deserve, by the way, because we broke contract.
Yeah.
Then we're going to take your AD.
Yeah.
And I kind of think WSU was like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure you've had poisonous relationships in the past. And I'm not just talking about I'm just kidding. Can you see the middle finger? No, you cannot.
It's right there.
And I'm not just talking about women.
Yeah.
But I'm also talking about dudes.
Yeah.
And I can think of, I probably can count on my hand 5 times where the relationship ended. Yeah. And I thought, you know what? This is for the better because you're going to go destroy your life.
It's like I tell my daughters sometimes, or like when I'm mentoring young people, whatever, I'm like, sometimes you got to trim the fat in order to move forward. Like you can love somebody.
Yeah.
And wish the best for them and be like, this isn't good in my life.
Yeah. And did you notice that the president of WSU did not wish Pat Chun well?
No, yeah, no.
But I mean, the thing is I'm to the point now where cancel the Apple Cup. I don't.
I love how Pat Chun said, "Once a Coug, always a Coug." I'm like, you don't get to decide that, bro.
No.
You're not the decider.
Nope. You have to bleed crimson and gray.
Yeah.
And there are factors, yes, and we could have a whole show on what makes a Coug fan, what makes a Husky fan. But Pat Chun, you're not. You were a placeholder. You did some things that could ultimately set the program, the entire athletic program back.
It's kind of like with the Seahawks. I don't know if you saw that lately, but KJ Wright took a position coaching with the Niners as a linebacker.
I heard about that.
And Bruce Irvin, who's his buddy, went public and said, "You're no longer my brother." Essentially,
Yeah.
like he's just like, "I would rather die, than work for the Niners." Like, there's some things you just don't do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but
and people would say, "Well, what if the UW came to us today and said, we'll pay you X amount of money to do a weekly show and talk about Husky football?" I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
The other part of this, and I don't think anybody's really talking about as Husky fans, is it's like, do you want to be with the gal that cheated on her last husband?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like probably
Yes.
gonna happen again. Like,
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're not really looking at that. Like, he didn't just leave for a job. Like, he you know what I'm saying? Like,
And the thing is how do we know he hasn't been cheating on WSU with UW behind the scenes?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
especially with the relationship him and Jim Cohen.
It's been a little suspicious over the past 8 to 12 months, on how things have gone down, how shit kind of hit the fan for WSU.
Yeah.
And then the guy who was supposed to lead us through that goes to the UW.
Yeah.
It just,
I wouldn't feel comfortable with it if I was
no, if I was a Husky fan, I would not be
Yeah.
happy. And to that point, with the current AD search for WSU, I want them to look deep into the Husky vault. I want them to look to people that are not Husky vault, into the Cougar vault.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. I want them to look into the Cougar vault. I want them to find people that could fit the bill.
You know what I want them to do? I want them to, you're 100% right. And I want them to go into those individuals that are like former athletes or Cougs that have contributed to the fundraising, that have, like, guys like Drew Bledsoe that run a business and is successful. Like, there's other guys that, have come out of WSU that aren't the big names or whatever, that are successful in running businesses or law firms or whatever. Like, that's who you go get, right? You get in, even if it's not a WSU guy, it's someone that has maybe they went to Wichita State, you know what I'm saying, a small school, or the little brother, somewhere like Kansas, where they get it. They get how to. They're an AD at somewhere like that, and they get.
And
how
I'm
to run
okay with that
program.
because some Huskies will say, well, that just makes you a stepping stool school. Sure, it does. But at least it's somebody who understands the Pullman atmosphere, the Cougar fan base, somebody who gets that it's more than just corporate a-holes that buy these box seats over at Montlake.
Ryan Leaf for WSU.
Oh,
AD.
my word.
First of all, you could put Ryan Leaf in any job at WSU, and I would be stoked because I love that guy.
That would be kind of cool.
Talk about a rebound in your life. And I love the way he addresses people on Twitter who try to rip into him. And he was just like, I don't know what you just said. It was hurtful. You nailed it on the head. I'm a recovering drug addict. I stole from family members who went to prison.
Right.
And all those things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm also now married with kids and successful and figured my life out. Good luck to you.
And you can stay off the little blue and yellow, purple.
Yeah,
that is. Yep. And
Anyway,
he
we
would
can go all
say that
day.
too.
I'm just really not that upset about it. I was bitter at first, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, I haven't wanted this guy there for years.
Right.
Thanks for taking him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for getting him off our hands, because I felt like he wasn't going to leave unless.
So I guess I'll say it like this: is UW, and to a certain extent, UW fans, you want to go to the Big Ten. You don't want to really hang out with the Cougs anymore. You think you're better? Fine, go. We're done. I am totally fine if the Cougs and the Huskies don't ever play sports again with each other.
You know what the crazy thing is?
I don't care
You know
anymore.
what the chances are?
You guys have ruined it. The vitriol fans and the piece of crap people up above at the UW who make the stupid decisions, you've ruined it. You've absolutely ruined it. And I I'm done.
You know the crazy thing is?
I'm done.
You know what the fun thing is, I think, for next year is football team for the Huskies will probably be a 500 team, right? Basketball team is going to be probably 500 team or sub 500. The Cougs in football and in basketball like stand a chance to have pretty good winning records.
Yeah, they could.
And we're going to be stoked.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to love watching winning.
I'm going to get and I'm telling you right now, mark this on your calendar, whatever. I want to get to a point where I look at the Huskies like they're Cal.
Yeah.
Like every couple of years, I care that we're playing Cal, but not really.
Well, we'll still have the Apple Cup.
Get rid of it. Get rid of the Apple Cup. Again, I'm on record right now.
Yeah.
Get rid of the Apple Cup. We're done.
I'm just like
done.
And I'll leave it at this.
you get the last word because I think everybody knows where I stand. I'm done.
It's our word combined. Like I'm like the further I've gotten away from the hiring in the last couple of days, the more I'm like, thank you for taking this freaking deadbeat like off our hands. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Oh, it's just I'm happy. Hear me out. Drew Bledsoe. I'm good with Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, dude, I would love that.
Guy runs this successful wine business. What are you? Professional drinker. That's exactly what we need in Pullman. So.
And he's the right age too. What is he? He's about 10 years older than me, so he's mid to late 50s.
He bleeds crimson and gray.
Yeah. Oh heck yeah.
So, I'm good.
And the funny thing was I had heard what you had said about Damon Heward and about there were rumblings that he might want the job. I thought
he was interviewed the last time.
I thought that would have been perfect.
Bro, he's already in the program doing fundraising. He's a figurehead. He's huge in the Western Washington community between Puyallup and Seattle. Like,
I just want to. I want you, Husky. I'm sorry. I guess I don't have a lot. Didn't have.
And honestly, you probably could have saved money.
Obviously we can't listen to Pat Chun's press conference right now because our man on the scene, Mike Crabb, is at work today instead of being there at the press conference.
And Aker, because Aker just got on this show.
But as a Husky fan, are you going to feel good when he gets up in front of the microphone and says, "I am proud to be a Husky"? When he just a week ago was, "I'm proud to be a Coug." Yeah. He's yours. It's like getting rid of that one.
Yeah.
That one.
It's like when your wife cheats on you. You're mad at first, but then a week later, you're like, "Can you get your crap out of the house?" Like,
she's yours.
Yeah, I don't
she's yours.
Yeah. By the way, I have the clap. Enjoy.
No, the Cougs do not have the clap.
I mean, they might. You're into a party over there, bro?
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I have.
All right, so let's get to another topic I think is a little bit more fun, maybe a little bit more controversial. And I think we need to set some parameters right from the get-go.
Hold on. Let me have a sports break for a minute.
Oh, no. A sports break?
Because I wanted to say this for Hilditch. I don't know if he's able to watch.
Oh, look at that.
Heward won several Super Bowls for just holding Brady's clipboard. Absolutely.
He knows how to learn.
Yeah. Let me tell you something real quick.
Oh, I didn't read I'm sorry, I didn't read Hilditch's thing.
Maddie came home from school the other day, and this involves Hilditch. Maddie came home from school the other day, and she was like, she was like, "Hey, are you in downtown Puyallup?" She texted me, and I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay, I'm getting out of school. Can I meet you real quick?" And I was like, "Sure." So I'm like, "Great. What is she, So she shows up. She hands me a letter. I open it up, and allow me to read the letter. It's not long, and then I have something to say about it. Where'd it go? Where'd the letter go? Oh, maybe I won't be reading the letter. I thought that I had the letter. Oh, there it is. Here it is. All right, let me read the letter. On behalf of the staff and administration of Puyallup High School, I want to extend my congratulations. Your child has been selected as one of Puyallup High School's outstanding 20 seniors. This was based on their strong academic achievement, character, and contribution to the school and community. Each year, we are asked to select 20 outstanding graduating seniors who have excelled in multiple areas of our school community. Each of these seniors, along with seniors from the other high schools in our area, will be presented to the school board. You're invited to join us, yada, 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 and they get like a special cord. Anyways, the graduating class at Puyallup is well over 400, creeping up on 500 students.
Really?
And my daughter and Shiloh Hilditch, Matt Hilditch is our good friend Matt's daughter, were named to the 20 outstanding seniors of Puyallup High School.
Nice job, kids.
I'm so overwhelmingly proud. I told Matt this morning, and I told Maddie the other day, because then Maddie texted me yesterday. She goes, "I just found out that I'm getting an honor cord for human services." And I was like, that's to go with her honor cord and her outstanding 20 and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, we always want our kids to do better than we did, but this is getting embarrassing. I'm just like, this is just really like you don't have to.
Well, here's the problem.
Turn the knife.
She is applying herself.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a problem. That was my problem. Yeah. Thanks, Nate. It's
Congratulations, Luke. Well done, man.
I'm just like every time I turn around, my kids are doing something and I'm just like when I crossed the stage at graduation, there was an uproar of applause, not because of anything I'd done, but because they were surprised to see me there. Like,
holy crap, he did it!
Dude, they let him walk 2 days ago
by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah. So I'm super, super proud of her. I'm proud of Shiloh, Matt's daughter. She's a great kid. She goes to our church and as well. And just so proud of my kid. And then yesterday, Lainey, I get a notification of an article featuring Lainey, and I click on it. I'm like, what? And Prep Girls Hoops had written an article, and they named 4 freshmen who have helped they're called freshman stock risers, who have raised their stock or whatever. And Lainey gets notified, or Lainey gets a write-up on Prep Girls Hoops that said Lainey's a 5'8" wing who's likely still growing. She has great footwork down low and in the paint. She showed her ability to finish with both hands, being just as effective with her left as she is her right. Her deep shot is consistent, and as she gets more comfortable in the court, she'll be a top player in her class. So she's featured on Prep Girls. My kids, I'm doing something right. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to keep doing it. So, yeah, I'm super proud of them. So. Good job, girls.
Is that the story of your life? I don't know what I'm doing right, but I'm going to keep doing it.
It's working.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So anyway, super proud of all of you girls. And
oh my goodness.
Thanks for making everyone think I'm a great dad. I appreciate it. So
you got them all fooled.
Yeah. All right.
So we got to set some parameters for our next topic. I think we have to set some parameters. Maybe we don't.
You have to be on booze when
the Seattle Sports Mount Rushmore can only have 4 on there, and we got 7 people. We got 7 people watching right now.
Matt,
8 people.
Hildrich made a good point in his thing this morning. He said,
I didn't get a chance to read it. I'm sorry.
He says, I'm aware that Mount Rushmore only has 4 presidents. And he goes, but that's because we probably only had 4 presidents that deserve any recognition, which is kind of funny.
Stick with 4. Today,
he said you should have 5 because we have 5 professional sports.
Do we know?
We have the Seahawks,
the
Mariners, the Kraken, the Sounders, and the Storm.
Seahawks, Mariners, Sonics. I know they're not around right now. Sonics, and I think the 4th should be the Storm.
Okay.
The Kraken haven't been around long enough.
That's fair.
And what was the other one you said? Sounders.
Sounders have been along since the 70s. So here's the argument though for the Sounders.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you 5. I was
just going to say the argument for the Sounders, even if you're not a soccer fan, is we don't have any other athlete. Well, I guess Gary Payton and Sue Bird, but Casey Keller represented the U.S. in the World Cup twice, and that's the biggest sport in the world.
Okay, so I'll give you 5.
I don't know. I'm just saying it should be,
and can only be
at most.
And here's the parameters I'm putting in place. Can only be 1 from the Seahawks, 1 from the Mariners, 1 from the Sonics, 1 from the Storm, and the wild card. I'll let number 5 be the wild card. Okay. So I guess you could potentially.
You had some extra dynamite by the mountain, and you wanted to blast another head in there.
Sure. Okay. AI jumped in and built us another face.
Okay.
Donald Trump.
So everyone, start giving us your. Let's start with the Mariners.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
You're wearing his shirt. I think it's a no-brainer. And,
I do too.
And I love Edgar. Yeah. I absolutely love Edgar. I love Bone. I love Randy Johnson. It's the kid. It has to be the kid.
I think here's one parameter. It doesn't have to be a parameter, but for me it is. You have to be in the Hall of Fame for your sport.
I think that's a strong consideration.
So you take Bone out in my mind. Unless he was just such a legend here, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
it was robbery that he wasn't in there yet, you know. But I think for me, you had to have probably been in the Hall of Fame for your sport, or at least been an MVP for your sport. So I think Ken Griffey Jr. Cortez. I was like Nathan, the fridge.
Yeah. I think the Sonics and the Seahawks are going to be tougher. I think the Mariners, is the easiest one. I really do. I know that Nathan put down Randy Johnson.
So the argument, let me get Hilditch's point, because Hilditch wanted me to try to read some of his as well, because he couldn't be on here for the whole thing.
So I'll say Nathan, and again, we'll get to the other sports in a second, but Nathan says Randy Johnson. Drew says...
so he says...
Okay, he doesn't say...
he says
Mariners
Edgar.
guy.
He grants that Griffey Nietzsche had decent claims, but for him, Edgar wins. For the M's, he is number 1 in runs, are the guys. Number 2 in hits and home runs, and he spent his whole career here. And the other two are only 3 quarters or 3 or 4. Yeah,
I get it. I absolutely get it.
Strong argument.
Yes.
Strong argument. But also, I feel they were just talking about this morning on the radio. Ken Griffey Jr. is a generational talent.
He put the Mariners on the map.
It's the house that Griffey built up in Seattle. Not only that, his personality and charisma put the Mariners on the map as a whole. We're talking Hall of Fame first ballot, had the highest of all time on voting. He's actually still the highest position player in voting ever. MVP.
And granted, he left to go to the Reds. That was an ugly situation. Yeah. At least he said the right thing. He said the right thing.
Family.
I want to go back because of family.
Yeah.
He said the right thing. We don't know.
Yeah. But then he came back, and he's such a big part of the organization. Still.
Right. Yeah. And Magruder said, easy. Junior's the Mariners. Don't overthink it. Agreed. So,
that's how I feel.
All right. So we got Junior. Now, let's head to the Seahawks, which this is going to be a tough one.
It's easy for me.
Okay. So we've got Nathan the Fridge.
He said, excuse me, Cortez.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. So Nathan says Cortez. Drew says Hasselbeck.
Because he took him to their first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's an argument.
I'll put that right there. Hasselbeck took. See, here's the thing. I love Hasselbeck.
I love him. I love his fire. I love everything. He's my favorite Seahawks quarterback of all time.
I love him. I love him.
Yeah.
I have to say that it's Steve Largent.
And that's me, no brainer. First Seahawk to the Hall of Fame. He held multiple receiving records, NFL receiving records that lasted quite a while after when he retired. To me, he was Mr. Seahawk. If I had to have a 1B after that, it would probably be Cortez Kennedy. And there's a list there, right? Walter Jones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You could name 5, and they would all be correct.
Bobby Wagner is getting to that status. There's some people say Marshawn
because
of the identity.
Yeah, I even hate to say it, Sean Alexander, which that I'm not a big fan of Sean Alexander's, but he was a big deal with the Seahawks.
Yeah. So,
but I feel like it's got to be Largent.
And wait, do you even say, if it's not an athlete, do you say Pete Carroll? 14 years coaching.
Someone made that argument.
The Super Bowl championship. So anyway, but I go Steve Largent.
Yeah, Magruder says Steve Largent, he put the Seahawks on the map when their uniforms looked like an unpainted Boeing 747.
So true. So true.
And you know what? And Steve Largent stayed together better than a Boeing 747.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Careful flying out there.
Yeah, I know, and I'm flying in a week and a half.
What about the Boz? Yes.
Oh, dude.
Yes. He is a distant 47.
Yeah, he is a distant 113. And I love the Boz. Don't get me wrong. I think he's so funny at his
own
expense now. Yeah.
I love him now that he's kind of pulled his head out of his butt.
But Steve Largent, to me, your first Hall of Famer, all the records.
Yeah, he
was the reason you watched the Seahawks through the 80s.
Right.
So
right, I agree. Okay, so we've got Griffey and we got Largent. Let's get to the Sonics. This one I think is going to be more difficult because I think you could have some old school guys who could make an argument to us new school guys who are not even new school anymore. We're now old school. I'll let you take this one first.
Let me pump the brakes for a second.
Okay, pump your brakes.
While we're on the topic of basketball, because obviously I struggle with the NBA now.
Yes, you do.
I think it's a no-brainer if you're looking at professional sports and what people have meant in our community that Sue Bird is on the Mount Rushmore of sports.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to the Storm first, okay.
Yeah, I'm just
done.
Like,
Next.
More titles, all-time assist leader, all-time steal leader.
Who was the other player on the Storm for many years?
Lauren Jackson.
Lauren Jackson. She's the second to me.
She's second. The only reason she's not on there is just because, and it's not her fault. She had all the injuries. She broke down.
Yep.
It's just Sue Bird played.
Oh yeah. She
17,
is the
18
Storm.
years. Yeah.
When anybody says the Storm, I automatically think Sue Bird, and then realize, oh wait, she's retired.
She's still involved in the community.
Yep.
There's talk that she might play for the Olympic team still. Like she's still in shape. Like, sheesh. Anyway, yeah. So Sue Bird's on my Mount Rushmore.
Yep. Okay. So we've got Griffey, Largent, Bird, not Larry.
And then if I'm going only 4, my fourth one.
Are you using a wild card? Are you staying away from the Sonics?
No, I'm not staying away from the Sonics. I think that oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some old school ones like Spencer Haywood. Our first title came with Casey Jones.
Well, Magruder says no Sonics unless it's Russell Westbrook.
Unless it's Russell Westbrook.
I had to think about
Kevin
that.
Durant 1 year.
Yeah, Kevin Durant on the Seattle Mount Rushmore.
Okay. I think you got to go with. See, this is hard for me because on one hand, I want to say Gary Payton, right? He was the attitude. He was everything for those teams, the best teams we've ever had, right? But then you could say, well, what about Nate McMillan? Like, he was Mr. Sonic. Like, they call him Mr. Sonic. So you got Nate McMillan in that. You know, a lot of people love Sean Kemp, but you know, Sean left kind of unceremoniously. Granted, he lives here and he's very involved in the community, but and he chases criminals down in Tacoma and shoots at them from his vehicle. Good on you, you vigilante. Gosh, that's a tough one, dude.
And don't think that I have an easy answer. It took me a while to kind of come to my conclusion.
Sort through.
Yeah.
What do you? Yeah. Jen says, I don't know. Maybe Nate McMillan. Maybe George Karl.
How awesome is this that it's actually difficult because you got so many.
Yeah, Ray Allen has got to be in that mix.
Yeah, be in the mix.
You know, you got Spencer Haywood, Tom Chambers.
Who was that douchebag that they signed for way too much money? Not Vin Baker though. Vin Baker's a different douchebag. No, who was the white dude? Who basically they paid a lot of money, and I think they got rid of, or they let Kemp go, thinking that this white boy was going to be
Vladimir Radmanovich.
No. It was like a
Burkowski. Frank Burkowski.
Thank you. Was that him? Was it him?
Might have been the brick, dude. They signed him afterwards to kind of fill in, back up Vin Baker.
It was some dude that they brought on, and everybody thought, "Are you kidding me? There's no way this guy is going to be that good." Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I think if I had to go with,
why does that not look right? Why does the way he spelled that not look right?
What, Burkowski?
No.
Sean Payton?
Is that? Why does that version?
The only way I can think of is if it's PE.
No. I guess that's right. That's so weird. Why does that not look right? Well, that's not right.
Yeah, you're really messing it up.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Because it's not Sean Payton, dude.
You mean Gary Payton?
Gary Payton.
Yeah, I was like.
That's why I'm looking at it. That's not right.
Yeah. I think you got to go. I think for me, if I'm picking a Sonic, it's got to be Gary Payton.
GP, are you with me? Oh, yeah.
The glove.
Oh, yeah.
Hall of Famer. Mr. Attitude.
For me, and it's because I'm not a 70s Sonic fan. I'm a 90s Sonic fan. And for me, it's Gary Payton, number one. And number two is Sean Kemp. And I understand Sean Kemp left on the terms that he left on. And to a certain extent, Gary Payton left on the terms that he left on. But I would love to watch Gary Payton play. And to that extent, I would love to watch Sean Kemp play. And so at the end of the day, I got to choose one or the other. I choose Gary Payton.
I'm going to tell you my favorite Gary Payton moment. And it's not even the court stuff, right? A few years ago, we were at a Storm game. It was like 2 years. No, it was right before. Might have been right before COVID. Anyways, we're sitting down close to the floor, and I look over about 9-10 seats down in one row in front of me, and Gary Payton was right there.
Yep.
And he's just sitting there watching, and people started to figure it out, right? People started to figure out whoever was a varsity football coach at Puyallup High School about 95.
Wasn't that Heward?
Yeah,
Heward?
it's Coach Heward, yeah. And he's still around Puyallup High School all the time. Like, he shows up and does things. But anyway, kids started to figure out that it was Gary. Bubba was sitting there, and they're coming down. For autographs. And they're starting to line up because he's sitting right on the edge of the stairwell.
Mm-hmm.
And he's signing. And then an usher, because it's Seattle, an usher comes up and starts telling the kids, like, you can't let Gary be, Gary Sherman. And Gary stopped them and said, no, let him come. And the usher's like, well, they're blocking the way. And he goes, just let him sit. So he just looked at the kids and he's like, just sit so you're not blocking anybody's view. And he sat there. Every kid that came to him the game, he signed an autograph, took a picture. And I thought, what a cool thing, man. He's just out here. And it was him that, they were going to let the ushers were going to tell all the kids to let him be. And he was like, no.
Right.
Let him come. So, which I thought was awesome. So one of my more favorite moments.
All right. So there we go. We got it. We got the Mariners that just has Griffey Jr. We've got the Seahawks with Steve Largent. We got the Storm with Sue Bird and the Sonics with Gary Payton. I could go to my grave with that Mount Rushmore of Seattle. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. I think if you were to throw a wild card in there, it would be somebody like a Casey Keller.
Sure.
But
I'll clean it up. Go ahead and keep on vamping.
But, just because what he meant to soccer in this area for so long, and soccer's become such a big deal, I guess I would throw him up there. Hillich said if he was to put a sounder on there, it would be Morrison. And I just don't think Morrison has had the effect that Casey Keller had on soccer.
I don't even know who Morrison is. I know who Casey Keller is, but I don't know who Morrison is.
Morrison, he's been up and down with the national team and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, he's a local kid, homegrown product. But still, it would be Casey Keller if I was going to go with soccer.
All right, we'll clean that up. See if that looks better.
We have Mariners, Griffey Jr., Seahawks, Largent, Storm, Bird, Sonics, Payton.
There we go. That's nice and clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. There is your Seattle Sports Mount Rushmore.
For us.
Yeah. And what we say goes. So,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now.
We are the defining authority.
Guess what? I'm going to put a star right next to it. Done. It's us. We made the decision. Yeah. You're welcome. All right.
Over.
So before we cancel the show, before we
get canceled,
before we close up the show, this guy says, "Hey, I want to talk about one more thing that's not on the docket," and I said, "You know what? Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Let's bring it up because this person I was considering until I heard who the VP was, and I said." Not interested.
Oh, and I'm actually interested. I'm very interested.
And I want to hear. So
I'm very interested.
Drew says, heard the Kraken are building a multi-million-dollar facility in Kirkwood.
I believe so.
Kirkland,
probably.
Boy, guy's gone for 2 years and he can't even remember the names of the towns over here anymore. Kirkwood.
Yeah, so
we're going to talk politics for a little bit, just a smidge.
Yeah, I'm not. And
so stick around. It's not going to be
controversial.
No, it won't be controversial.
So I get a lot of
the WSU talk was more controversial.
Yeah,
than this is going to be.
I believe everyone's well aware that Bobby Kennedy is running as an independent. And the interesting thing about this is the moment he like nobody cares about Bobby Kennedy, right? As a politician, I mean they do, right? But no one on the Democrat side really cared about Bobby Kennedy. Not a big whatever. Until he says he's going to run as an independent, he's leaving the Democratic Party and he's going to become an independent and he's running for president. Suddenly,
the vitriol just came flowing.
He's a kook and a conspiracy theorist.
He's an anti-vaxxer.
He's out there, and I'm like, oh, here we go. Just here we go. And the whole thing there is they're afraid he's going to take votes away from Biden, right? Which he's going to. So it's not a fear. It's a fact. And I'm of the opinion that his move yesterday is even more of a problem for the Democratic Party.
Okay. And I want to hear why.
So he named Nicole Shanahan his running mate yesterday.
Okay. So who's Nicole Shanahan?
She is a former Democrat who just recently left the party.
Okay.
As a representative.
I like her already.
Yeah, she left the party. She says they're out of touch. She says the Democrat. She goes, the problem is not me. The problem is the party has changed. Democratic views have not changed. The party has changed. And
I think that's fair to say that.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say that. And then went about calling out several Democrats and Republicans for some of their stuff that I thought was on point. And then I watched a video of her this morning and kind of what she's all about. And she said a year ago, if you would have asked me about Bobby Kennedy, I would have told you he was a kook. I would have told you he was, all these things, because that is the narrative that was being pushed on us in the party and from the media, from that side. And she goes, a friend of mine told me, just sit down with Bobby, or listen to one interview.
Okay.
Like have you ever listened to an interview? And she's like, well, no. And she's like, just listen, pick anyone.
And it's not easy. I mean, he's got a speech thing.
Yeah. And so she listened and she was like, okay, hold on. And then so she goes, then I wanted to meet the guy. And she goes, and I quickly realized that the narrative about him is not anywhere near the reality.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not.
And she said that with that, she saw herself leaving the party. Like, it changed everything for her. It opened things up.
Tulsi Gabbard disciple.
Right. Yeah. And so she's big on, so she has her daughter has autism. So she does the thing about, her daughter was born in 2018, and for 7 months, it was the best 7 months. She was healthy, everything was great, and then something just didn't seem right for 3-4 months. You know this road. And she ended up being diagnosed as autism spectrum disorder. And so that led her down the route of like, why are more and more kids being diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder? Is it like we're just more knowledgeable? And so she started really looking into foods, the things that we eat, the things that even like cell signals, electronic signals, that kind of stuff that, they're not really looking at. And she is a champion of cleaning up the Federal Food and Drug Administration, cleaning up what is allowed to be put in foods. Because like most other first world countries do not allow the things that we allow in foods. And so she's big on cleaning up all that. She's big on having a commission for like, that we don't have now, to study cell tower waves and all kinds of stuff and how it's affecting people, and if there's better ways to do things, and what's going on in schools. Like everything that she's been saying to me as a parent, I was like, this is on point for me. Like, I'm willing to listen. Like everyone knows I'm not surprising anybody right now. I'm not voting for Joe Biden.
What?
I know.
Show's over.
That said, my vote is open. It's available to be bought. Okay. You know what I'm saying though? Like, that doesn't mean everyone's like, we're not voting for Biden, you're a Trumper. I'm like, there are more than 2 people in the world that you know what I'm saying? Like in our country.
But I will also say this. If someone was to look at me and say, you're a Trumper, I'm going to tell you, yes.
I identify more with him than I do.
Only in the sense that if those are my 2 options.
Yeah.
I guess, sure, if you want to call me that, but I'm not.
But what I am saying,
I honestly want the guy to go away. I want a better candidate to run against Joe Biden. But
what I am saying though is, we run this crazy 2-party system where those are the only 2 people that anyone feels like they can vote for.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that Robert Kennedy is hard to listen to sometimes. And
he is.
But is he harder to listen to than
right?
And come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or this guy. Like, I'm just look. I don't think Bobby Kennedy's going to go out there and win the election. I don't. I do hope some of the things that he is pushing to the forefront of that needs to be discussed, and that Nicole Shanahan is now bringing out of the, talking about the Food and Drug Administration, what's going on. Why are kids and people so over medicated? That's another one of her big things, the pharmaceutical companies she wants to go after. Those are things that I have for years. I've said the pharmaceutical companies are out of control. Whether you liked what President Reagan did in the 80s or not, the one thing that he did that was absolutely god awful was pass that law that said that pharmaceutical companies could not be held liable for their vaccines.
Yeah, that is a bad.
That was a bad move.
Under Reagan.
Yeah, that was under Reagan.
I don't like that.
Yeah, and she's like, hold on, this has to stop. What are we putting in food? Why are kids and people? Why are people, and especially kids, so over medicated?
Yeah.
Why are we not looking into this? Why is so much stuff make it into our bodies that isn't allowed in other countries? Right. And so, and she's coming from a place of like, she has a child, right, that she's like battling for.
Yep.
And if you have a child you're battling for, and by the way, Joe Biden's battling for his cokehead son. Okay, she's battling for her 6-year-old autistic daughter, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm listening because when you're battling for your kids, that's different.
Yeah. And I guess you've opened up my mind a little bit to know more about her. My concern with her, and from what little I've learned so far, is that she does have a background with the Soros Foundation.
Fair enough.
And with the world, I want to say the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
So those are two things right off the bat that I have a concern with. But I'm willing to look into her a little bit more. If I think he's a better choice, could I be throwing my vote away? Sure, I could be throwing my vote away. But
it's important to go with what you feel is the best choice.
Like I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. I voted for some Constitution Party guy who I don't even know his name. If you put a gun in my head, I'd be dead because I couldn't remember his name from 2016.
Yeah.
But I was not going to vote for Hillary. I wasn't going to vote for Trump.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Dittmer.
Yeah, what do we got? Mr. Dittmer says from the Valvoline.
Hey, Sam Buffington.
Sam Buffington says,
how we doing up there in northern Idaho, my friend? Good to see you, bro.
Hey, Sam, you weren't over at Coeur d'Alene the other day, were you?
Yeah, it got a little rough over there, man. Dude, Sam is.
If you know, you know.
Sam's one of my favorite people in the world, and we've never even met like face to face. Let me tell you why. Because Sam pushes the platform of girls' athletics, and good on him. And he's only. It's cloudy and sunny. Haha. Yeah.
Same here.
And Sam's like 21, 22 years old, and he's just out there killing it in the media and pushing girls' sports.
Right on. Drew says Diet Coke is banned in Europe.
Well, and so it's I spent 6 months in Norway or 5 months in Norway, and I was like, man, the Coke is different. And so I started looking it up. They're not allowed to sell Coke the way we are here. It has to have less sugar in it, less carbonation, all kinds of other stuff.
Good.
And then I got used to it, and then I came back here and I had a Coke and was like, what's this god-awful stuff?
Magruder says, third national election in a row where we should all be asking ourselves, are these the best Americans you can come up with? What a joke. And you know what? We are. But here's the problem. And it's not breaking news. The media runs everything.
Here's the deal.
I did not have
relations.
This is how crazy things are. And it goes along with what you were saying about she's looking into stuff that goes into food, stuff that goes into medicine. So you've heard of Ozempic and Wegovy.
Happy opening day, Sam. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, there we go.
Ozempic. Yeah.
Sam says he wasn't downtown.
Yeah, good on you.
You got an alibi, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what? Side note, I think what happened in Coeur d'Alene was probably some jackass.
It only takes one to screw it up for everybody.
Right.
And here's breaking news. They're not just in Coeur d'Alene.
Right.
Coming to a city near you.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Okay, so you've heard of Ozempic. You've heard of Wegovy. I think it's Wegovy. These are the diabetes drugs that they have now found that actually help to lose weight. Yay!
So now everyone wants to take Ozempic.
And once you start it, you have to continue. They're saying, the doctors, the scientists, the experts are saying you have to take it for the rest of your life. Okay, so you're with me so far, right?
Tracking.
So, watch a news story last night. Apparently, it also helps women become a little more fertile.
I heard that.
So fertile that the birth control pill isn't effective, and they're
taking a placebo.
And they're calling them Ozempic babies because they're taking Ozempic, they're taking the pill, and the women are still getting pregnant.
Yeah.
So then, you know what the advice is? Well, if you're pregnant, you need to stop taking Ozempic.
Hold on. You just said.
Thank you.
I'm not allowed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is why the drug industry is a major problem right now.
We're the only country, it might be two countries, so don't shoot the messenger. We're either the only one or one of two. They're allowed to have commercials for pharmaceuticals.
That needs to stop.
Ask your doctor about. I'm going to ask my doctor what I should do. Not like.
And my doctor should say, hey, fat ass, get out there, exercise, and reduce your calorie intake, and watch the foods that you eat.
We were just talking about that with Lainey, because Lainey's talking about wanting to be a doctor. And we're like, where she would lack is bedside manner, you know? And she's like, yeah, that's because I'm going to be like, why do you think you're here? What kind of life decisions? What decisions do you think have brought you to this point in time?
Listen, Lainey, if you ever watch this show and you become a doctor, you have to have a room that has the one-way mirror. So your dad and I can sit in the other room, eat popcorn, and just watch these sessions.
Yeah, here's an idea. Stop making
You know
bad
what?
choices.
It hurts when I do this.
Yeah.
You know what? Stop doing that.
You know what? It doesn't hurt me because I'm not doing it. McGregor says, America, don't bother with the inconvenience of not putting crap in your body and pay to put this other crap into your body instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was saying that last night. I'm like, boy, we just are craving to put crap in our
And
bodies.
here's the thing, was like the Nicole Shanahan gal, is that, and you brought up the Soros thing, and that is a concern. But I feel that, like, no matter who I vote for, right, there's always going to be things I disagree with. And, you know,
Right.
so you're going with, like, who do I think will be the best person? Just like you
Right.
and I don't agree on everything, right? So in my mind, I'm like, okay, can I live with some things if I know that she's going to really give her best effort to go after the FDA, to go after what we're putting in food, to go after the pharmaceutical companies? Can I live with the fact that she hangs out with a creepy old white guy? Like, maybe, right? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. We got time. There's things I got to look into there.
Right.
But, you know, and I think that's what politics is. And what it needs to be for people is like, okay, lay out what's most important to you. Okay. You're not, like, say you have the 5 most important things. There's chances are you're not going to fully agree with any one of the candidates, unless the candidate, which
Right.
they do, is just blowing smoke up your rear end to get your vote.
Right.
But which one can you align with most
Right.
and
And
deal with their shortcomings the least?
And I ultimately align more with Trump than I do with Biden.
Right.
If you just put the facts down there and not all the craziness that the media creates, you put the facts down there, I align more with Trump than I do with Biden.
Yeah.
But there's not everything that Trump does that I like.
Doesn't mean I'm in the fan club.
No, I'm definitely not in the fan club.
But I the more I've listened to Bobby Kennedy and I've kind of heard what this Nicole Shanahan's had to say about some stuff, I'm like, you're worth listening to. Like, even if it doesn't end up going anywhere, like, maybe you light a fire, like, under some people, you know?
Well, something needs to happen, because what is happening in Washington, D.C. right now is not good for our country. It's not. And I'll tell you this. If you've got kids that are graduating soon, you might want to push them towards the defense industry, because America seems to have no problem giving money to the war machine.
Yeah.
So if you want a steady job, go work at one of the defense industry companies.
It's getting ugly, man. It's going to get really bad this year, I think.
Bro, we could have another entire episode on.
But let's not.
I'm just going to say this. I don't want to go to war. I don't want to go to war.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to war. I want these people to act like freaking adults.
I love war.
And figure this shit out. I'm so sick and tired. I have not heard anything. The whole Ukraine thing. I've not heard anything about, well, we're going to help fund them, but we want to work towards peace. I don't hear that phrase, we're going to work towards peace.
Or in the Gaza Strip.
Or in the Gaza Strip. Thank you. Even there. I don't hear that. And people say, well, Israel is doing this. Da, da, da. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. The point is, nobody is trying to find peace.
I always find myself on the side of.
See, I have peace with Huskies.
Like, I hate when people say, like, it's that whole putting you into a box thing, right? Like, you can't say that and believe this.
Right.
Yes, I can say that I think that this should happen, but also this. Like,
Right.
And we should work towards some kind of peace. The irony to me is that this administration thinks that it's okay to be involved in the Gaza Strip, that it's okay to be involved in Ukraine, but it was not okay to be involved in Afghanistan for some reason. And dozens of people died needlessly.
Yep.
And billions of dollars of American military equipment was lost on that whole thing. You're never going to get me off that.
But don't look over there.
Never going to get me off.
Don't look over there. Look over here.
Oh, speaking of the bridge.
Oh,
Speaking
yes.
of don't look over here, look over there.
Yeah. First off,
They're investigating Diddy. Break down the bridge.
First off, rest in peace to those that lost their lives on the bridge.
6 of
They're
them?
just construction workers doing their job, and when that bridge fell, unfortunately, they lost their lives. So rest in peace to them. Prayers for their family. Horrible, horrible, horrible situation.
Yeah.
That's brutal, dude. And I told you yesterday. I had just got done a couple months ago watching a documentary about the Sunshine Highway Bridge in Florida, and this happened back in the late 70s, early 80s, where same thing. A tanker went right into the column of a bridge, and
I agree with you, by the way, Drew. I agree with you. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, what do you say? Sorry, Hamas is the one who. Yeah.
After around and found out.
My military is going to finish what was started. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Anyway, those poor Maryland folks. Talk about a terrible commute. Jeez Louise, gents.
Yeah.
It's true.
You're not wrong.
No, yeah.
I guess it was horrible yesterday. The evening commute was horrible.
Can I ask something, though?
Yeah.
This is like coming into my mind just like maybe late last night.
So let me finish. So the Sunshine Highway, I think is what it's called, Sunshine Bridge in Florida. They had the accident. They rebuilt the bridge, and they did something novel because it's a main shipping lane where big tankers are coming in and out all the time.
There we go.
They put bumpers around those towers. So it's going to really, really take an impossibly fast
I mean, you got to be
tanker.
full steam ahead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ramming speed.
Right. I mean, not only is there an island around the tower, but then there's also bumpers around the island.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. But in all that time, they never thought about doing something like this with the Key Bridge.
The video is jaw-dropping.
Oh, absolutely.
But here's what I got to think about after I saw it again last night. A couple times I watched it, and I was like, who's building this bridge? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that it's a big cargo tanker or whatever, like big cargo ship. And for those of you who don't understand, like, there's a ton of conspiracy theorists on Twitter right now saying it was intentional and yada, yada, yada. And they don't understand how the bridge could have, or how the boat could have turned so easily right into it. I'm like, you got to understand, first of all, that when you put a bridge into the middle of a waterway like that, it really messes with the currents. Like, that's why under the Narrows Bridge, the currents are crazy. Like here in Tacoma or in San Francisco. And they say that, under bridges like that, some of the strongest currents and swirling, that even if you hit, like, you're churning in these things because those pylons that you drop into the water, that you drive into the water, you put it just messes with all the currents and all that. So it's really easy to see how if a boat loses power, a current could swirl it right into the side of into the pylon of the bridge. Now, there it is.
So I was on the conspiracy theory camp until I kind of calmed down a little bit.
I'm glad you did.
And I watched one video. The guy, he only put this out a couple hours after it happened.
Are you showing this, by the way?
No. I guess I could show it, though. Let me do this. Let me see if I can present. Share screen, and share Google Map. Share. So a guy put out a video, and he said the ship started right here at the port. Two tugs were helping navigate it, and so what it does is it navigates from the port. The tugs are with it as it does a circle, or not a circle, but a half circle, and turns around in the Patapsco River. Is that how you pronounce it?
Patapsco, I think so, yeah.
So the tugs are with it until it starts heading towards the bridge. And at that point, it's normal for the tugs to say, okay, you got it, we're out.
Yeah.
And so it starts heading this way. And what the guy showed on the video is that this is another waterway right here.
Yes. And
he said that you've also got currents coming into this river from this waterway.
Correct.
And he said that if the freighter or the tanker lost power, and then you're going to have these currents that are hitting it, these currents can also push it towards the shore. It just so happened that it was heading right towards the pylon. And then the other thing I heard yesterday that kind of took me off of the conspiracy theory tip was they're looking into the possibility of contaminated fuel that was put into the ship at port.
That caused it to lose power.
And that might explain why you see it lose power, a big black smoke coming out of the pipe.
Yeah.
Because I've accidentally put unleaded gas in a diesel. Yes. So I'm familiar with that stupidity.
Yeah.
But it got me to thinking, okay, maybe this is really just a horribly tragic accident.
I mean, I think it is. My only thing is if you have a bridge in the middle of a main waterway that has shipping containers and stuff going through, Like you were talking about, like the bumpers. Like bumpers aside, like how is the bridge not a little more like engineered a little bit stronger, or at least like able to one side goes down but not the whole flipping thing? And I understand it's a suspension bridge, but like, I mean, I don't know how and again, how old's the bridge? I guess what's the engineering technology like?
Well, it was built in the finished in the late 70s.
So older technology as far as engineering goes as well.
And if you take the thing,
But
is,
man,
if
it
you take
went
a look
down
at it,
just like a paper mache.
Well, and I think you take out the one. Let me see if I can find another. Let me find a picture. Well, I'll just do this. Let's see if it'll show me photos. Did it show me photos? Or are you just going to show me photos of the collapsed bridge? It's going to show me photos of the collapsed bridge. Here, let me do this. Let's go Francis Scott Key Bridge. But I don't really want the collapse. I just want the bridge. Let's take
It's
a look
not there anymore, bud.
Well, thanks, Captain Obvious. The thing is, if you take a look at this will work. Let's go big on this one.
That's what she said.
Yeah, share this tab instead. There we go. So I'm sharing this tab, I believe. And the thing is that it absolutely makes sense if this particular tower goes down. Just from an engineering standpoint, if that goes down, there's nothing to hold the rest of it up.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, this is brutal. Like that's the only bumpers they have in place.
I know I mean, it just whipped. Right
Yeah, it just
into
came right. Or it just. And the thing is that if the ship, let's say even the ship hit this bumper, it's just gonna bounce right off of it.
Yeah.
And go right towards. So.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's sad. It's god awful for the area up there. Like Jen said, the traffic is just going to be insane.
Magruder says the bridge was likely built to withstand the most likely impact, not the worst possible impact.
Yeah, and that was worst case scenario. Yeah.
So further down the Chesapeake, they have bridge tunnels where the roadway goes under the shipping lane. Yeah, and that kind of makes me think, what do you do at this point? You have a chance to not have a bridge over there anymore. And it's sad because it's the Francis Scott Key Bridge. So if you don't rebuild the Key Bridge.
Yeah. Well, we talked about yesterday, like, what does this look like for funding, right? Like the federal government's jumping in and pledging all kinds of money that we don't have.
Of course.
Which I'm not saying is the wrong thing to do, right? Mm-hmm. But then God only knows how long this is going to be held up in insurance claims with the shipping company because, regardless, like accident or not accident, they're at fault. Like if I hit somebody with my car, it was an accident, like my insurance still has to come to the rescue.
And I don't have this for certain, but I thought I read something yesterday that said that insurance might not be on the hook for this because of where the ship was
because insurance is useless.
Because where the ship was
Kevin.
In the bay.
Yeah.
That there's a certain what's the word I'm looking for? There's a certain standard that doesn't have to be met to have the insurance fulfilled or something. I'd have to look into it.
It's crazy.
But yeah, it could be
it's crazy to me. So
okay. So our hearts go out to you in Baltimore. That's horrible. I mean, I can't imagine if I was thinking about this morning when I was coming across the Narrows. I was thinking, man, can you imagine if both bridges got knocked down?
Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't see each other for a month.
I know.
Because I sure as hell would not drive around.
Coming through Shelton right now, dude. Be there in another hour.
I'm gonna throw you a key box. You know what? I'm just gonna mail you a key box.
So, I was passing the Olympic Mountains today. Where were you going? See Rory?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho.
All right. I think that's enough damage for today.
Yeah.
I think we did good.
Yep. We're just gonna start construction on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I'll get working on it right now.
Yeah. By the way, I'll say this about the Bobby Kennedy thing.
Okay.
He doesn't have to win. He doesn't even have to have a bunch of votes. But say he gets 3 or 4% of the votes. That's a warning sign. You know what I'm saying? like if the third party independent candidate goes out there and gets 3 or 4% of the votes, I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on, you better start thinking to yourself, maybe we're not doing something right.
Maybe we're the bad guys.
Maybe we're not listening. Boom. Hey, have a great week.
Oh my goodness. Hey, you guys, take care. Happy Holy Thursday.
Oh yeah, happy Easter.
Happy Good Friday and
happy opening day. Happy,
happy
Sweet 16.
Easter. Yeah, enjoy the Holy Week, and if you don't celebrate, you're a heathen. Nonetheless, I wish you happy Easter.
Yeah, I won't see you on the other side because you'll be in hell.
Yeah, I still love you though.
Just kidding. Hey, happy Easter. Remember.
Hey, take care.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to end the stream, but not yet. See ya.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!